In today's Clash Royale video, I will give you guys the top 3 best stacks after the balance changes, after a new update in Clash Royale. Ton of changes, Skelly King still remains really strong, Pump and Murr could be one of the best cards in Clash Royale, Archers are way better, and Electro Giant makes a huge comeback in Clash Royale. If you guys don't want to miss any news in the future on the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Also, using creator code MORN is highly appreciated, I would say, especially because of the new season pass. Let's direct jump to the games and let's direct jump to decks. I'm gonna show you the best decks now. The first deck I want to show you guys is this deck. I mean, it's kind of a surprise deck, a surprise factor, which also is important in Clash Royale, right? If you play the best decks in Clash Royale all over the time, people know how to play against it. So I think this deck might not be the best deck itself, but it could be really, really good, especially with the meta shifting. Also, Elixir Collector gets a positive Elixir trait against any spell, even against Rocket, because when the Elixir Collector dies, he spawns 1 Elixir, so I could think it could be really, really good. A ton of people will start using Earthquake, maybe, depends how good Elixir Collector will be. I don't really think it's going to be like top 3 cards in the game, but I could think it's going to be strong, and even if your opponent has Earthquake, you can mirror up the Elixir Collector and get a really positive Elixir trait plus 2 level now. So at example, 20 standard, level 13 pump, at ladder level 16 pump, or level 16 free musketeers. We also test around with level 16 cards in the next couple of videos. Then we got a really cheap cycle, genuinely really good deck, and let's direct jump to the game. I'm going to show you how to play this deck with perfection. So the first game I want to show you, by the way, great name from the opponent. No, I'm just gonna show this games here, testing this deck out, and I mean, this constant Skelly King deck will be still really great, because Skelly King will still remain one of the best cards in Clash Royale. So, I mean, that's kind of interesting about Free Musketeers, right? Free Musketeers, are they back in the meta? I think yes. I mean, the big part of Free Musketeers were always Elixir Pump. I think Free Musketeers were never too strong without without Elixir Pump. I mean, it was still once the deck with the, how was it called, with the Royal Hogs, the Hunter back then. I think Legend made this deck, a CL Shiner 2018, but generally the best time of Free Musketeers were always with Elixir Pump. So if Elixir Pump gets back, I'm also thinking Free Musketeer gets back. So basically, you're playing it like a control / beatdown deck. You always want to go in for your Elixir Collectors as much as you can. So if you're putting pressures with the graveyard, you really want to even can use your mirror, as you guys can see, for mirroring your Ice Golem, which worked really well. So we got to push on both sides, which anyway good. I mean, Tombstone, it got enough, but still remains, in my opinion, really, really strong. So unfortunately right now with the mirrored Ice Golem, we don't have the Elixir Pump. Yeah, we cannot mirror the Elixir Pump, but it's still fine. I mean, the opponent doesn't have Fireball and Cycle in this case, so he needs to go for most likely a Fireball now, and then we get free Musketeers. Free Musketeers, because he cannot Fireball the Free Musketeers anymore. Difficult lord. But for sure, stacking pumps is really important, especially even if the game goes like in double Elixir time, I'm still gonna pump if I know the game is not ending soon. So this is kind of about pumping. You can still pump in double Elixir time, even some people will say it's not good. In my opinion, it's still good as long as you see the game is not ending in the next 20 seconds and your opponent can punish you so hard for that. So an example, like here right now, we get a ton of damage on the right lane. The thing is, like, sometimes your opponent, if he could drop directly troops on the 2 or 3 musketeers, or like on the 1 musketeer, they directly die, so you need to play it lower to also make sure all the troops are in tower range. So that's a perfect example. Opponent's gonna Fireball Elixir Pump, and we're just gonna drop our another Elixir Pump here with 2 Elixir Pumps on the map, and this looks really, really great. So I'm just gonna go now for my 3 Musketeers in the back. 3 Musketeers are coming down, kind of leaked here a bit, I don't know why, but it was generally not really well played. Now I'm just gonna go for my Ghost here. Now it's just about building a last final huge big push. So Fireball's coming down. Fireball also missed 1 Musketeer. I mean, it's not the biggest deal ever because it's the opposite lane, but it's not easy to break through, right? So he's been really putting in a good job, heating also the Ice Golem up. But we're just gonna go for another pump here, and I think it's gonna be smart to just go in for this. Just a graveyard on top of the Elixir Pump, I think it's fine sedation, just to make sure he's killing some of the Elixir. And I mean, it worked out, he kind of got damaged, but right now we're in a position, we have a huge Elixir advantage, and now, I mean, how is he supposed to defend 3 Musketeers mirror? He's gonna Fireball that, but we have another 3 Musketeers at hand, so he needs to commit troops now on his side of the map, like the Knight here, and now we got a ton of free musketeers on the map. We're just gonna split them in the back. I mean, you could have also gone like more aggressive, but our opponent needs to go for arrows here. And look at this, it's just absolutely crazy how good the free musketeer, like how much HP the free musketeer level 13 have, and that's exactly what I meant. He needs to play with a defensive Skelly King just to make sure to kill that. We're just gonna go for he's just gonna go for a tombstone low here, and I mean, we are still alive. I mean, he is still alive. We are also still alive, but yeah. So most likely am I gonna pump here? I think I can, but I'm not really sure. Okay, I think I'm just not gonna pump because he still needs to defend the ghost, right? So because he still needs to defend the ghost, it doesn't really make sense for me to, yeah, do that. So yeah, as you guys can see, just incredible. We have another like advantage. This is exactly what I was talking earlier about. You can still use your pump in this situation. So most likely opponent's gonna go all in now. But that's fine. We're just going to go for a high ice golem here to kite. Going in for my ghost here. Going for the barbarian bull inside. And going in for the free musketeers. Cleaning up absolutely everything. The ability from the opponent was kind of trash in the situation. It kind of made us like even easier to cycle back to another free musketeers, and you guys will see what I meant with that. That will be absolutely crazy. I'm just gonna go for another ice golem here. I'm just so excited for the upcoming content, guys. So you guys can really stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. It will be absolutely awesome. We got new free musketeers there. With the also, yeah. With the mirror change example of pump decks, so it could be like really seeing a great meta shifts. So generally well played. Graveyard will be one of the most used decks, and you actually hard counter them. Deck number 2, which I want to show you, is this Hog Rider Earthquake Cycle deck. So Hog Rider will still remain really strong. I mean, this is a different variation. Sub out the Valkyrie for the Knight, which got a nerf. We got the Ice Spit instead of the Fire Spit, because especially in Hog Rider decks, I really prefer the Ice Spit overall. Fire Spit was just so broken to have it in, but Ice Spit really helps also in defense. With the Tesla combinating like better against Royale Giant now because the freeze duration is longer, and we got the archers, which are great anti-lightning. I mean, still a ton of people will use lightning because archer can still remain strong. So just having archers, especially with the buff, could be really great, and having a Tesla instead of the cannon just to make sure we're not getting destroyed by lava, because we don't have the biggest single target any damage anymore. If we sub out the archer screen, generally really good deck, not easy to play, but still I even think if you're not the best Hog Rider player, and I can always tell you guys, if you want to learn a deck, use Hog Rider, learn Hog Rider. There are a ton of different variations which are viable in every single Clash Royale meta. Here we go, Reno next game. So just gonna start for Hog Rider. This is normally a play which you can do. You could also go in for Ice Split at the Bridge just to find out what he's applying, but Hog Rider is also a fine play. So honestly, a deck from the opponent, which is also a deck which I could, yeah, if you're looking for a golden deck, this might be the possibility to play a golden deck, because I think we're kind of underwhelming the Golden Knight change. Golden Knight will be once again maybe a top 2 champion, maybe a top 3 champion. Skelly King will be for sure the number 1 champion after the Blind Chains, after Archer King nerf. And let's see how big the Archer King change turns out. But Golden Knight will for sure be back in the meta. Also a really great tip which I can give like any type of Hog Rider player to you guys, even if you're playing like a different Hog Rider version, 2.6 Hog Cycle, 2.8, 2.9, 3.0, Hog XE. You always want to support your Hog Rider when your opponent is Tornado, an example with skeletons or with something else. So as you guys will see right now, the freeze duration is way long. I mean, it didn't make any difference in this case, but still it's great to have. So kind of supporting here with my archers here, and I'm just gonna go Hog Rider opposite lanes. So the opponent doesn't have any elixir. He still needs to drop the Baby on the right. Otherwise, the archers would have connected here, and we're going for a perfect skeleton split, and generally a really good start into this game. So I mean, what is the key to defend Golden? When your opponent goes for Golden back, I normally really like to cycle my Tesla first. There are 2 options. Going for Tesla first and trying to go for Archers. Then you could also go for Archers first, but the problem is if I go for Archers first and he drops like a Baby on top of the Archers, they're kind of wasted. So going for Tesla first is my opinion safer play to play then the Archers on defense. I mean, he doesn't really get any lightning value in this matchup, to be fair, because, yeah, I mean, he can lightning the Tesla, but as I said, Ice Bird, Skeletons is generally doing really well against all of my stuff. So generally, I would say, that's honestly a good matchup. Even he has like 2 really great counts against, as you guys can see, we can just go in for this, and we got a really good defense. Also gonna lock, I think, and might get 1 shot, but Archers are generally, they got so much better when they're generally always good against lightning decks. I'm always saying generally. That's the problem. When I like saying one word, I'm always using it, and this is not the play. This is not what we want to see. So I'm just going for another Hog Rider. He goes for a Tornado. This is absolutely crazy. And I'm just going to go in for another Tesla now in the back. Just going to cycle a lightning, a lock here. I think I got a disconnect at the end. Still 1 luckily. I don't know how. That was kind of lagging at the end. But I'm just going for archers now to the side, and this will be like a harder push now. Skeletons, I think, yeah, he's gonna lightning this, but lightning was really, really bad. But even I think with the lightning, if the lightning hit the Tesla, it could still easily defend with another Tesla there. Yeah, because the Tesla, even the Tesla base wasn't optimal, should have played one tile higher there, but it still helps here. But I'm just gonna go for my, yeah, this here, I'm just gonna go for Ice Bird, I think, now. Maybe that, no, I'm not. Okay, I'm just gonna Ice Bird at the bridge, and I think here right now I'm quite lagging, I guess. So, yeah. I'm just gonna go in for my Hog Rider here. No, I think the Knight luckily connects here, but as you guys can see, I'm lagging here. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So I didn't know what was happening, but I just should have gone for Hog Rider. Now I hope I go for a Q. But also opponent is lagging. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing as an opponent also, so I played like both decks, games at the same time, if you guys didn't notice yet, because, I mean, the balance change aren't live when I'm recording the video, so I was like playing on the secondary device, with Code Morton here. So I was laying on both devices. I still think in this situation it's normally a great win for Hog Rider cycle. You're just going for the logs, you're just going for the EQs, and EQ log would have been enough. So if your opponent goes in for Golden Bag, just pressure with Hog Rider, play your EQ, or I would even say play your EQ first, then go for Hog Rider, because then you get the EQ sooner in cycle. GTs were played. Both decks are really, really great. I prefer Hog Rider 1. This is on my number 2. Now, let's go to the best deck after the update. That's exactly the deck which I showed you in yesterday's video. So if you guys want to see more gameplay about this new 7 Electro Giant deck. Electro Giant, it's a new card. Electro Giant deck. You can check out yesterday's video. It's a really strong deck. I mean, I'm gonna give you guys every single tip in this video, but I also wanted to show it in this video because I feel like it's a bit fair. If I like talk about the best decks, this is in my opinion one of the best decks. If you guys don't want to use the Ice Rider, you can use Musketeer instead. You can use Archer Queen instead. I just like really having Ice Rider. Is also a really cheap card. Skeletons, Fire Spirit. You can also use Ice Spirit, but I prefer in this deck Fire Spirit, because it's way like I just want to have the damage and pressuring always the opponent, as an example when your Electro Giant is not breaking through against P.E.K.K.A. and forcing out a ton of elixir with the Fire Spirit is always great. Then we got the Earthquake in it. I mean, the two best buildings right now in Clash Royale, Tombstone, Earthquake, so it doesn't really make sense to use Lightning in Electro Giant. Also makes the cycle a bit cheaper, as I think Electro Giant way more playable right now in cycle decks. We got the NATO, I mean, to pull everything into the Electro Giant. And we have the Cannon, which is just generally really good building. You could also use Tesla if you're starting against Hog Rider, but generally a really good deck. Can I stop saying generally? So, here we're in a game, opponent starts with a Hog Rider. I mean, we have the Cannon ready, and normally what I really want to do with this deck is getting a surprise factor in. So, I really should have played also the Electro Giant in corner, because if you play the Electro Giant in corner, it's way harder to kite. So, should have done that against any type of Hog Rider player, because then your opponent's not kiting that easily. So, just go for my Electro Giant here. Okay, I'm just gonna go in for my EQ now, and this is really important for this deck. You normally really want to get a ton of damage in single elixir time when your opponent's like not expecting your deck, right? But this didn't really work out too well, so honestly, this kind of put us in a bad situation. Also, the opponent played really well in this game, so I'm just gonna go for a NATO here, activating King Tower against the Hog Rider. I mean, it's not really too great to go in for E-Giants without having Tornado against this deck, because normally you always want to play your NATO on offense, so I'm not deciding to go in for Electro Giant here. I'm firstly cycling, even for Elixir advantage, I think it's the better play there. So, just gonna cycle Q on opponent's side. I mean, it's a solid play. I could have also done it, but I think it's not really necessary for me to do. So, if your opponent goes in for Hog Rider, I can just use my Cannon. I don't really want to use my I don't really want to use my Tornado there. Yeah. This is great. So, I'm just gonna go in for my Q here on top of the cannon. Even I don't hit tower, and I'm just gonna NATO that directly into that. Also, I think I'm just gonna go Fire Spirit to make sure the Musketeer gets one less shot, and we're getting a ton of damage. I mean, it's not as much damage as I thought in the situation. Electro Giant has way less HP, as you guys can see, but still, if the Electro Giant gets the tower, even after the HP reduction, also damage, it still does quite some decent damage. And I mean, the reflection damage still stays the same. So generally, just the HP is the only real nerf, I feel like, because if the Electro Giant gets the tower, it's still so much damage. So, opponent's gonna go for an EQ for Cannon early. Trying to cycle soon to another Cannon. I'm just gonna kill it with an EQ. So, I mean, this matchup maybe an Ice Wizard wasn't really good, but in general, I think Ice Wizard is a solid card and helps cleaning up. So, I think I'm just gonna go in for another Electro Giant here. I'm gonna go in for a crashable EQ here. Shouldn't have done that. I'm just gonna lock this also back, and I'm gonna NATO here. I'm gonna Fire Spirit. So opponent's instantly going for Hog Rider. Just gonna go for Cannon here. He is gonna EQ that, so he will get 1 shot, he will get 2 shots, maybe. No, he doesn't. Okay, great lock, and we are looking really, really good. I think in this situation I'm doing the wrong choice and deciding to go in for EQ cycle instead of just by keeping up what worked before with the Electro Giant. So not really happy about that. And also I think right now, soon, I'm doing a huge mistake and yeah, messing up, I think, a tornado, which puts him, or which gets him back in the game, which, I mean, you shouldn't really do. I'm just gonna go in for my Nado here, and yeah, that was a big miss, and this kinda cost us a ton. So I'm just going for my lock here, I'm just gonna go for the Q, and yeah, this is kinda the struggle which I had. I mean, if you wouldn't have missed the Nado here, I think it would have been a really easy victory, but generally, yeah. What I'm supposed to do, guys? What am I supposed to do? So lock comes down. I mean, I could have played the lock a bit maybe earlier, but it's not what it all is about, right? I mean, I could have lost the game in this situation, but I should have won the game earlier on. I mean, there were some mistakes that I did, but generally, if you guys want to see more gameplay about this deck, make sure to check out yesterday's video. I will also use this deck in the next couple of days, show you more gameplay. Let me know what is your favorite deck from the top 3 decks, and also let me know which deck I forgot, which deck you think will dominate the meta, and I would say I'm out. Thanks for watching, and goodbye, guys.